Hello, awesome fourth graders. Today is day 2 of our reading of the one and only Ivan. Lots of you have emailed to share with me that you are really enjoying this novel, and that makes my heart really happy to hear. That's great. We are, at least through video, enjoying a good book together. Not as good as in person, but I'm glad to hear that you are enjoying it. This is a recorded reading of pages 19 through 27, okay, 19 through 27. We begin picking up where we left off, and we had learned that Ivan loves to draw. He is an artiste, and we learned that he has quite the sense of humor too, and our last chapter ended by saying, if I get tired and I need a break, I eat my crayons. Okay, and I'm sure you can picture a gorilla doing that. You could probably picture him eating those crayons more than you can picture them drawing with those crayons. Let's learn more about our setting of our novel and our characters. Page 19, if you're following along. I think I've always been an artist. Even as a baby, still clinging to my mother, I had an artist's eye. I saw shapes in the clouds and sculptures in the tumbled stones at the bottom of a stream. I grabbed at colors, the crimson flower just out of reach, the ebony bird streaking past. I don't remember much about my early life, but I do remember this. Whenever I got the chance, I would dip my fingers into cool mud and use my mother's back for a canvas. Okay, canvas meaning the piece of paper or fabric that you're painting on. She was a patient soul, my mother. Imagination. Someday I hope I can draw the way Julia draws, imagining worlds that don't yet exist. I know what most humans think. They think gorillas don't have imaginations. They think we don't remember our pasts or ponder our futures. Come to think of it, I suppose they have a point. Mostly I think about what is, not what could be. I learned not to get my hopes up. The loneliest gorilla in the world. When the Big Top Mall was first built, it smelled of new paint and fresh hay, and humans came to visit from morning till night. They drifted past my domain like logs on a lazy river. Ooh, did you visualize that? People drifting past like logs on a lazy river. I like that descriptive language. Lately, a day might go by without a single visitor. Max says he's worried. He says I'm not cute anymore. He says, Ivan, you've lost your magic, old guy. You used to be a hit. It's true that some of my visitors don't linger the way they used to. They stare through the glass, they cluck their tongues, and they frown while I watch my TV. He looks lonely, they say. Not long ago, a little boy stood before my glass, tears streaming down his smooth red cheeks. He must be the loneliest gorilla in the world, he said, clutching his mother's hand. At times like that, I wish humans could understand me the way I understand them. It's not so bad, I often want to tell the little boy. With enough time, we can get used to almost anything. I can make a connection to that. We are right now getting used to learning this way, right? Learning from home, from a distance, virtually. Page 23, the chapter is called TV. My visitors are often surprised when they see the TV Mac put in my domain. They seem to find it odd, the sight of a gorilla staring at tiny humans in a box. Sometimes I wonder, though, isn't the way they stare at me, sitting in my tiny box, just strange? My TV is old, it doesn't always work, and sometimes days will go by before anyone remembers to turn it on. I'll watch anything, but I'm particularly fond of cartoons with their bright jungle colors. I especially enjoy it when someone slips on a banana peel. Bob, my dog friend, loves TV almost as much as I do. He prefers to watch professional bowling and cat food commercials. Bob and I have seen many romance movies too. In a romance, there is much hugging and sometimes face licking. I have yet to see a single romance starring a gorilla. We also enjoy Western movies. In the Western, someone always says, "This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Sheriff." In a Western, you can tell who the good guys are and who the bad guys are. And the good guys always win. Bob says Westerns are nothing like real life. Excuse me. The nature show. I've been in my domain for 9,855 days. My mathematicians, if you think about how many days are in a year, 365, right? 365. And divide that into 9,855. So 9,855 divided by 365. Challenge yourself. How many years has he been there? Again, it says, I've been in my domain for 9,855 days alone. For a while, I was young and foolish. I thought I was the last gorilla on Earth. I tried not to dwell on it. Still, it's hard to stay upbeat when you think there are none of you. Then, one night, after I watched a movie about men in black hats with guns and feeble-minded horses, a different show came on. It was not a cartoon, not a romance, and not a Western. I saw a lush forest. I heard birds murmuring. The grass moved. The trees rustled. Then I saw him. He was a bit threadbare and scrawny, and not as good looking as I am, to be honest. But sure enough, he was a gorilla. As suddenly as he'd appeared, the gorilla vanished, and in his place was a scruffy white animal called, I learned, a polar bear, and then a chubby water creature called a manatee, and then another animal, and another. All night I sat wondering about the gorilla I'd glimpsed. Where did he live? Would he ever come to visit? If there was a he somewhere, could there be a she as well? Or was it just the two of us in all the world, trapped in our own separate boxes? It's probably hard for us to picture what that would be like. Imagine if you had no idea if you were the only human. And the only reason you think you might not be is because you saw a quick glimpse of what looked like another human. But up until that point, you had never seen anyone who looked like you in any way. He is not sure if he's the only gorilla on this planet. We learned some more about his setting in that story and a little bit more about, in that part of the story, and a little bit more about Ivan as well. I look forward to reading the next section with you soon. It will tell us more about his very good friend, Elephant Stella. Thank you for reading with me today. I miss you and send love your way. Have a great day.